How you doing? Graham Lawler here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, what I do is I do homebrew, all grain kits, a mixture of stouts, lagers, IPAs, thrown in a good mix. Today what I am doing is I am doing a Tempest milk stout. So this is from the homebrew company, so you just order it online. Came pre-milled. You have your grain. You have 500 grams of lactose, which goes in 10 minutes to the boil. You have your hop addition, which goes in at 60 minutes to the boil. You've got your furlock tablet for helping clear it. And then your last step, we have our dry ale yeast. So that will go in when everything is done and we have it down to the desired temperature for pitching the yeast. So what I've done now, I have my Carlstein on. It's have all the water in it there now. It's bubbling away there. It's not boiling. What it is, it's up to 67 degrees. So 67 degrees now. It's ready for us to add in the bag of grain. So there you are. You can see all the different colours and stuff going through the bag. I don't have a grain list. As this is one that they do for you, the homebrew company in Ireland, the Tempest milk stout. So we go ahead and add in the grains into the water and we get the mash going. Okay, so we will add in the grains here now. Add them in slowly. It's about half of the bag gone in there now. Let's get, oh, it smells good. Let's give that a little stir, just slightly. Don't want to go wild. Add in the rest. That smells good. Very good. Not too strong, not too overpowering. Now what you want to make sure when you're doing this, I'll just show you now, this is the last of it gone in. Put that in there. Let that go into the water. But what's very important here now is you don't end up with big clumps like this here. See this? They call them dough balls. So you just break them up softly. Make sure you get your stirring stick in and everything is broke up. I'm not going wild here now. I'm just running this through it, and you can see this paddle has holes and stuff through it, so the grain is getting separated nicely. So doesn't seem to be any lumps. Not too strong of a smell. Now, compared to the last stout I did, this one's not very strong smelling so far. Should we give it time? It's only gone into the water. Nice. We'll leave this back down. We're going to put the lid on it and we'll leave that there now. That's to be at the 67 degrees for 1 hour, but what I'll do is I'll do some recirculation now shortly and I will show you that. Show you what I meant by recirculation. So I have my jug and I have my tap here now on the Carlson. It has a little lock on it, which is good, stops you opening it by mistake. So I literally want to fill this up. Close it off. I actually have a little, it smells nice. Then pour this back in, and I'm going to repeat this process a few times. Put the lid back on, leave it for another little while and recirculate again. I do this process a few times. Okay, so we have our mash now is done. It's been on there now for an hour at 67 degrees. I've done a lot of recirculating and now it's time to lift the basket up, and I have my daughter Sarah here who's going to help me. So this is definitely a two-person job. You don't want to try this on your own. This, believe it or not, is very heavy. You have all the grain plus you have all the water, or should I say now work. I'm going to let a little bit drain out first, and then I'll let Sarah slide it in. As you can see, it's not her first rodeo. She's done it now a few times and I'll be lost without her. So this clipped in. There we go, that's better. So we'll let that Now all the wort drain right the way down, and it'll all drain into the bottom. The lid here has holes in it, so anything that comes out of the basket just travels down through the holes. So what we'll do is I will get my, I have my sparge water here. This is boiled at 80 degrees. So what we'll do, I'll give that a second. Okay, so we have all the wort now is drained down through the basket and into my Carlson boiler. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually using a colander because it has all the holes in it. When I put it in here, instead of just dumping the water in on the grains and reaches one spot, it'll disperse the water so it spreads out over the grains and it'll wash all the sugars and flavours down into it. So I'll just show you, this is 10 litres of, or 9.8 actually litres of 80 degree water, but it's a bit heavy to pick up and pour over. So it'll actually work better if I just pour this in here lightly, and it's actually working great because it goes in here and it just spreads. So I'll do that with the full pot, get it in, let it wash right the way down, and then we will be getting ready to put it onto the boil. So the wort has all drained through the basket, and here's what's left, just to show you now. That's what you have left. You can actually see the steam coming off. It's still hot, but they're not, you could squeeze them there, you could probably get a little bit of moisture out of them, but got a lot of wort. Here you go, you can see it now. It's full there now, so I have it on the boil. Get ready to add the hop additions when she starts boiling. Okay, so we have it up now, it's up to the boil. Fairly full, what we wanted. It's great here now, there's a clock here built into this, so it's when it got to the boiling 100 degrees, then only the timer starts. So this hop addition goes in 60 minutes to the boil. So I'm just going to sprinkle these in here. They're really strong hops. I don't actually know what they are because it wasn't on the bag. As I said, this is a kit from the homebrew company. They're gone in there now. We'll let that boil away with the lid off. And what we'll do is 10 minutes to the boil. I'll add in the cooling coil, and I'll also add in the 500 grams of lactose. So we will come back to it then when we're at that stage. Okay, so we're here now and we are 10 minutes left to the boil. So now it is time to add in the bag of lactose. It's 500 grams. What lactose actually does, if you don't know what lactose is, it's going to give it more body, more of a smoother mouthfeel, more creaminess if you like, and a little bit of sweetness. That's the whole thing with a milk stout. So it's the whole idea is it's nice and soft and creamy and silky, and you know, let's see if it does it anyway. We'll add this in now. 10 minutes to go to the boil, so we will add in the lactose. I'm actually going to give that a little bit of a stir. What I'll do then after I stir it, I'm going to add in my cooling coil, because what that'll do while this is still boiling, it'll sterilise it. And then my Warflock tablet, I will add that in shortly as well, and then we will be on to cooling. So this is the cooling coil hooked up through the mains water supply, and it's actually running through now into this barrel. The reason I'm putting in here rather than wasting it, I'll have a full barrel of hot water to wash out my all-in-one system when it's cooled down. Okay, so the wort is fully cooled down, so now it's time to transfer it into my fermentation barrel. It's done quite simply. I'll literally be opening this tap like so and filling up the fermenter. I'm not going to let you watch this because this will take a few minutes, and then when we have this done, we'll be on to pitching the yeast. Okay, so we have it transferred now from the Carlson all-in-one system into my fermenter. It's a clear one I'm using today. I'd see a bit of the action going on. We have this dry ale yeast that came with the kit. So we needed, it works ranges between 12 and 25, and the ideal temperature is between 15 and 22. So what I actually did when I transferred this in, it was still a little bit too hot. Put it outside where it was cold, we have the yeast now. This isn't the one that you rehydrate on. This is quite simple. So this pitching the yeast, simply going to sprinkle this in. Make sure I get it all. Screw the lid back on. I have my airlock water in it there, sterilised water up to that point. What I'm going to do now is literally, there's a different brew on here, literally give this a little shake. There you go, mixing it up a little. We'll leave that now do its thing. When that's finished fermenting, it'll be cold crashed, kegged, and then we'll be on to the tasting. So obviously you have a nice dry, clean glass. So I'll just pour the pint now and see how good she is. And she looks good anyway. There's plenty of carbonation in it there now. Oh yeah. There you go. Now, smell wise, to be honest with you, it doesn't smell too strong. It smells very, not very stouty, more roasted, very roasted. Yeah, there's a smell there now, I'm not too sure what it was. Anyway, this we started off, what the original gravity reading should have been was 1055. What it actually was 1052. The final gravity should have been 1018, which would have been a 4.8. I ended up at 1020, which gives me 4.2%. This has been 5 weeks since the video started, so it's had plenty of time. Usually give it about a month, but we've given it the extra. It's actually Easter Sunday today, so happy Easter to you all, anyone who's celebrating it. That looks good. Looks like a good point. Nice head on it. Nice creamy head. It's not too dark. It's not white, but it's not dark either. You can see there it's settling nice. It's darkening nice, cascading effect. Nice cool. Look how cool it is. The glass is getting a nice bit of frosting on it there. Have the fridge set fairly low. Have to have your Guinness or your stouts or your beers. I prefer them low. I know some people like them room temperature, but the colder the better for me. So it's just about ready to finish. I'd usually wait till it's fully black, but I know the video's been going on now when I add them all together long enough. So we'll top this off here now. Push the tap back. Now, it looks like a good point. So there we have it there now. Nice creamy head. Looks like a really good point. Potentially should be a really good point. But there's something about the smell I'm not liking. But you will find out now soon enough when I take a sup of it. Cheers. Happy Easter. Probably should let it settle a bit more, but sure, getting anxious. Initial thought, it's drinkable, but it's not. I suppose the problem I'm going to have now is the recipe I got off D22 Brewing. Jared Flynn, a friend of mine in Australia, was that good. Anything I brew now, trying to compare it to it, is going to be a struggle. Even that's an all grain brew. It's a Tempest milk stout. It has 500 grams of lactose in it. Therefore, that should be really smooth. Have lots of body. It has, but it's just missing something. There's a bit of a flavour off it. I wouldn't say burnt, and it's not roasted either. It's something I can't quite put my finger on it. It's okay. In my opinion, the homebrew company Tempest Milk Stout isn't a great brew. Will I brew it again? No. Will I drink the keg? Of course. So there you have it. Homebrew company Tempest Milk Stout. Not great. It's drinkable. Looks great. But it looks a lot better than it tastes. And it's not like anything was off or it wasn't cold crashed or there's nothing wrong with the gas. Everything was done as I always do it. It's just not up there with the big boys. As I say, I will drink it, but I don't think I'll brew it again. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe.